Numerology is a huge field in which numbers play a significant role in unfolding a person's personality, disposition, temperament and traits, very similar to how astrological predictions and birth charts work. The sun number brings our high-level characters and categorizes them into 9 groups. Knowing your sun number gives a broad overview of your nature and assists you in tuning into what can hold you back from your true potential. Like in astrology, as you provide more and more details of the day of your birth, your name and more, you begin to uncover the foundations of what makes you not just a sun number, but a truly unique and complex person. The sun numbers not only highlight specific traits and personalities, but helps you discover your true identity, passion, and interests. Numerology can also help in discovering the kind of life choices that you make. Your sun number also reveals how you approach the changing cycles and how they tend to influence you. Everyone has several other unique numbers at play in their entire numerological profile, including life path, hidden passion, and pinnacle numbers, to mention a few. Keep an eye out on this channel and subscribe for future videos exploring numerology further, master numbers, karmic debt, alphabet numerology, and so much more. Your sun number is a digit between 1 and 9. Your sun number is easy to calculate and never changes. Simply add your month and day of birth and reduce to a single digit. So if your birthday is December 2nd, you would add 12 for December to 2 for the date to make 14. 1 and 4 reduces down to 5. So someone with the birthday December 2nd is sun number 5. If your birthday is July 6th, add 7 for July to 6 to make 13. 1 and 3 reduces down to 4, so your sun number would be 4. You may need to reduce your number more than once. For say November the 28th, you would add 11 for November to 28, which equals 39. 3 and 9 equals 12. So reduce again, 1 and 2 equals 3, and so your number would be 3. Pause this video to work out your number, and once you have it, you can resume and discover what your unique number means for you. Try not to read this in isolation. Pair these traits with your sun sign, your rising sign, other numerology placements, and placements in your birth chart to truly create a personalized picture for you. You might also want to work out the sun number of your friends and family and loved ones, those close to you whose energy is welcomed into your life. Coming next is a description of each of the 9 sun numerology personality traits, plus a personal yearly cycle number for 2019 for each. All 9 numbers are time-stamped in the description, so once you know yours and those of your friends and family, you can jump straight to the ones that you need. People with a sun number 1 tend to have a stubborn, headstrong approach to changing circumstances. They are strong and motivated. Ones are not afraid of confrontation, and at times they can be rather impulsive. But there is a limit to what they can do, however, and when a person with sun number 1 reaches that limit, they tend to crash with little warning. Although they always seem to be quite enthusiastic, there are times when they lose their mental strength and their willful nature, and their capacity to handle tough situations, and it can take a long time to pick up the pieces and start the healing process. Once they reach the state of being unable to take it anymore, it becomes difficult for them to cope with the circumstances and come out of their shell. Those with sun number 1 are usually very enthusiastic in almost anything and everything they do. They respond quickly, but don't always recognize the true nature of upcoming changes until they have already set things in motion. A number 1 should learn to recognize the subtle signs that usually appear ahead of a storm. As they are so purposeful, direct, and committed to what they involve themselves in, they are said to be perfectionists who handle their work diligently. Successful sun number 1s have learned the need to be humble and grateful for what they have. If people with 1 as their sun number are not nurtured properly, however, they can manifest opposite qualities of who they are. They can be dependent, soft-spoken, and even weak-willed. In love, the sun number 1 is passionate but needs to dominate and can have a bit of a jealous streak. While the number 1 sun number is original and creative, it could use a more subtle and romantic approach. The number 1 can also have a tendency to misread his or her partner. The one trait that is pretty much guaranteed to ruin a relationship with a number 1 is when he or she feels a lack of respect or a sense that they are being taken for granted. The number 1's stubbornness means they stick to their principles, but it's also the main thing that stops them from living their ideal life. The trick is to avoid viewing this as a failing or as losing pride. Instead, think of it as learning from past experiences and evolving to suit your developing needs. Those with sun number 1 are compatible with 2s, 5s, and 7s. And the personal year cycle for number 1s in 2019 is number 4. You are advised to be organized and practical. 2019 is a year to take care of yourself and to take care of the details. Commit yourself entirely to your goals. Your concentration and ability to focus will be much improved over this year. You will have an attitude of realism and determination. There can be a sense of limitation and some frustration this year. However, this is a year of important opportunities that must be seized. There can be considerable work-related travel, and you must be flexible this year to make full use of the opportunities that present themselves. It will require a combination of perseverance, hard work, and versatility. You will receive recognition for your hard work and efforts, and support from your friends and family. People with a sun number 2 take a careful and deliberate approach to changes. 2s consider future consequences and weigh the pros and cons before they make their moves. 2 personalities tend to avoid direct confrontations, preferring instead tact and diplomacy. They have no trouble drawing support from others and share their troubles and their successes easily. They are very logical, pragmatic, and realistic, rational in their way of thinking, especially when they have to make important decisions. 2s can, however, be somewhat emotionally vulnerable, especially in romance. The 2 can see through anything that isn't sincere and genuine, so you should be careful playing games with the number 2. 2s are also future-orientated. They keep in mind how their decisions may influence the future, and this makes them both productive and conscious about making the right decisions in life. The 2 does have a harder edge, however, one that allows them to take a stand in something that they truly believe, although it would take a lot for this to happen. As a general rule, 2s do not interact with others directly, and they can be rather reserved. They are, however, extremely good judges of character. In love, The 2 sun number puts his or her partner first. They are not particularly passionate, but still know how to please and how to be pleased. 2s can be sympathetic and emotional, and they will often help those in need. They believe in unity, love, and oneness, which is why they connect so easily with others, even strangers. Furthermore, they are also very intuitive and have a lot of empathy, which means that if they don't use their intellect properly, there is a chance they may be dependent on others for rather long periods of time, which can have its own repercussions. Always keep in mind that the 2 can be fragile, and if you break a 2's trust, you may have to deal with the sharp fragments. Those with a sun number of 2 are usually very methodical and careful in their approach to life choices. However, the other side of the coin is that you probably find change rather difficult and terrifying. Instead of shutting down intuition that would lead you out of your comfort zone, listen and trust your gut feelings. Confronting some of your fears and trying new things will lead you to productive growth. Those with the sun number 2 are compatible with 1s, 5s, 8s and 9s. And the personal year cycle for 2019 for 2s is a 5. This is a year of dynamic change. Many surprises will come your way. Be open and ready to embrace new opportunities. Try not to be overly careful in 2019. This is a year in which a major step forward can take place if you are willing to take some calculated risks and do a little gambling. Wisdom and prudence are the key, but you will definitely be faced with choices that require fast action and a willingness to act before all the facts are in. People with a sun number 3 are innovative and creative. They think outside the box and find solutions quickly, bursting with optimism. A 3 personality typically has a childish streak that lets them avoid responsibilities, especially those that demand effort and attention. 3s tend to be loved by many, but often their own love for others can be somewhat superficial. Those who have 3 as their sun number are said to be very creative, inventive, and very imaginative in their essence. They are also enthusiastic and energetic in their approach towards anything and everything that they indulge themselves in. They specifically outshine when they are entailed in solving problems to questions that require thinking outside the box. However, when hit by one of life's more serious challenges, a 3 can surprise everybody by displaying a lot more endurance, courage, and determination than anyone expected, including themselves. These people are very optimistic and carry a certain charismatic aura that others may not be able to resist, which in turn makes them vibe well instantly. Creativity is a 3's biggest asset when it comes to taking advantage of opportunities or overcoming obstacles. Unfortunately, the effort level doesn't always live up. As a result, 3s can leave quite a few unfinished projects, unfulfilled dreams, and empty promises behind in their path. With such a supercharged persona, it sometimes becomes difficult for them to contain themselves, which makes the situation worse for them. They tend to shift their focus quite often, which makes them unstable at times. They are often unable to complete tasks as they get easily distracted by other interesting things. Successful sun number 3s have learned to focus and be disciplined in how they approach changing circumstances. When a 3 does manage to push something all the way to its goal, that accomplishment tends to be enormously satisfying. They love to explore and experience many things as it keeps their life interesting, and they detest sticking to just one thing, Even though they are quite sentimental, they tread rather carefully when it comes to relationships. In love, the Sun number 3 may appear somewhat superficial and flaky when involved in a romantic relationship that's just hiding a more serious undertone, and for that reason they dread pessimism and negativity and approach any major change in life, which a romantic relationship can be, with caution. Sun number 3s have no trouble entering into a romantic relationship that they know is not going to last. In fact, the 3 can certainly be a little bit promiscuous, but when a 3 senses that things might become more serious, they do have a tendency to back off. The way to get a 3 to commit to a long-term relationship is by being patient and absolutely not demanding. Creativity and a childlike appreciation for life means that your natural at more imaginative law of attraction exercises. On the other hand, you may be intimidated by thinking too deeply or emotionally, keeping relationships relatively light and superficial. By deliberately engaging in self-reflection and challenging yourself to ask meaningful questions, you can access new information about your true life's purpose. Those with the Sun number 3 are compatible with 1s, 5s, and 7s. Those with the Sun number 3's personal year cycle for 2019 is 6. This is a year of progress and financial advancement. Major career opportunities present themselves in 2019, and this is a challenging year in which personal growth is joined with new responsibilities and challenges. This is also a year of domestic responsibility and attention to the needs of family and friends. It's a time of heartfelt emotions and some sacrifice. It's a time for confronting and caring. You realize the importance of your place within your community. Deep feelings bring renewal to relationships and often a birth in the family. People with Sun number 4 are sticklers for details. They take a systematic, efficient approach to whatever comes their way. They are solid and stable, and it takes a major change to knock a 4 off his or her feet. However, 4s have a dislike for change, preferring to maintain the status quo, and for that reason they are not always quick to catch on. 4s can miss opportunities because they waited too long. People that fall under the Sun number 4 are considered to be very hard-working, devoted, committed, and steadfast. So much so that at times they become stubborn and inflexible, which makes it a little difficult to change their opinions towards someone or something once they've made up their minds. Sun number 4s are not procrastinators and tend to apply themselves with focus and dedication, demanding much from themselves. 4s are not satisfied until they are the best at what they do. They never refrain from working hard and giving their best because they are very good at managing their problems in life. They are also cool-headed while dealing with their issues, which is why they are able to solve them with a lot of subtlety. Sometimes this passion for perfection can make a 4 easily frustrated and not much fun to be around when they are working. 4s struggle with the concept of relaxation and tend to be all work and no play. However, what others don't know is that they are equally as demanding of themselves as they are of others. It isn't so much that 4s are materialistic, but that they consider accomplishments to be the crux of all existence. In spite of all this, they are very stable and grounded in their essence, which makes them quite balanced and trustworthy. It is essential for them to realize that they must continue to learn and evolve as individuals. They are least bothered about what others may think about them. The only thing they care about is to try and be perfect. They leave no stone unturned as far as efforts are concerned. Successful Sun number 4s have learned to accept that nothing is guaranteed in life, and that if you want to fulfill your dreams, you may have to take a risk every now and then. In love, the grounded 4 just doesn't know how to handle itself when the earth falls away and love takes it to the sky. It takes time for a 4 Sun number to reveal what is in his or her heart. However, once they do fall in love, the 4 tends to stay in love. They are not particularly passionate, nor are they sensual, but they more than make up for that with devotion. If you are on the receiving end of a 4 Sun number's affections, you will never have to worry about its depth or the strength of its commitment. Solid as a rock, the 4 Sun number will always be there for you. While a connection to the Sun number 4 is associated with dedication to goals and high levels of resilience, your perfectionist streak can keep you stuck. You might be the sort of person that can put off trying to manifest a dream until the circumstances are just right and then realize you missed the boat. You'll be happier if you can accept that there is no perfect time and no perfect outcome. Try to start thinking in terms of good enough instead of perfect. Those with the Sun number 4 are compatible with 5s, 6s and 8s, and those with the Sun number 4's personal yearly cycle for 2019 is the number 7. You will experience a strong tendency to spend more time alone, to delve inside and find some answers, and to reach a better understanding of yourself. This is not a year for social activities, nor is it a year to try and reach goals on a material level. You will find that the necessities of daily life seem to be taken care of by themselves. There is no need to be overly concerned regarding your material needs. Without slacking on your daily duties and responsibilities, you can afford to give more attention to yourself. Of all the different Sun numbers, the 5 is the one best equipped to deal with changes. Not only that, 5s thrive on change because they tend to operate best in an environment that is both dynamic and somewhat chaotic. People who fall under the Sun number 5 are known to be the most romantic and intimate people out there. They believe in keeping things real and special. They are known to be free souls who love to explore the world around them. They are enthusiastic and do not mind experiencing their wilder side and discovering new things. Sun number 5s don't do well following a carefully planned path and are much better at responding to the moment. 5s can be adrenaline junkies at heart, and they love to travel and move about. People with the Sun number 5 are quite creative, imaginative, and remain less worried most of the time. They usually dwell on the now and seldom keep themselves busy thinking about the future. One of the reasons behind this attitude towards life could be that, to a large extent, they are adaptable to change. As a matter of fact, they are so accustomed to change and transformation that they find it exciting to adapt to these alterations. A typical 5 is social, enjoys the company of others, and prefers to take a road that they have not walked before, even if that means taking a bit of a detour. They have a wild streak and lack discipline. This can cause problems in the form of addiction or self-indulgence. They continue to evolve a lot faster than others. To add further, they are quite extroverted, sociable, and lively. The most obvious shortcoming of the 5 is their dislike of stability and responsibility. Successful Sun number 5s have learned to dedicate their energy without wasting it on short-lived goals. However, if these people are unable to have a balanced mindset, they can turn out to be a little negative in their way of thinking. If they indulge in overthinking and become untrustworthy, they will lose their very charismatic persona. When it comes to romance, the 5 Sun number is the most sensual and passionate of all the numbers. In a romantic relationship, the 5 surprises everyone. As wild and adventurous as the 5 is in almost all areas of life, it becomes just as serious and committed when the heart is touched. The 5 is loyal to a fault, and while it is sometimes found on the receiving end of a cheating relationship, it is almost never the cheater. It is, of course, in the nature of the 5 Sun number to try everything and everyone first, and for that reason, they don't usually become involved in a serious relationship until relatively late in life. But once the heart, as opposed to certain other body parts, is touched, the 5 no longer plays, but becomes a stable, focused, and fully mature partner. Freedom is a 5's most prized asset, and they will do anything to keep it. 5s are not good at long-term relationships, but when they are in one, they are loyal and fun. If your Sun number is 5, you've got a great capacity for coping with change. You can roll with the punches. The thing that saps your power is your tendency to get impatient with routine. However, ultimately using the law of attraction requires sticking to at least some roughly defined schedule of exercises. Honing your patience will be key if your way to access the reserves of your energy that restlessness so often focuses is just out of reach. Those with the Sun number 5 are compatible with 1s, 3s, 6s and 7s. Those with the Sun number 5's personal yearly cycle for 2019 is the number 8. This is the year of harvest. After 2018's constant involvement with yourself and very possible occasional doubts about the state of your business or career, you will find this year to be a relief. Things finally work out. Long postponed checks and promotions come through during 2019. You see the light at the end of your financial tunnel, and an inner strength and confidence is breaking through. This is the year of harvest, and depending on the effort you put in the last 7 years, your reward will be equally as large. People with a Sun number 6 are the most harmonious of all the Sun numbers. They have a tendency to ignore their own needs and desires in favour of helping and teaching others. They are the glue that binds. Their ability to love is what makes others love and respect them. People with a Sun number 6 are born caregivers, stable and level-headed, and they deal well with changes. People affiliated with the number 6 are known to be very selfless and giving. They are very apprehensive by nature and are usually more worried about others than themselves. They will make sure that they help everyone around them before they do anything for themselves. However, a 6 can be annoyingly self-righteous and may have a tendency to claim a spot on the totem pole before they have earned it. 6s can also be a bit short-sighted, lacking the ability to see the bigger picture. Their willingness to help people in need makes them very kind and generous in their essence. They are very open about helping others, and some of them do not hesitate to let others know about it as well. However, some individuals are not very outspoken and may remain in their own little world without letting others know about their state of affairs. A 6's strongest asset is their good and down-to-earth humanity. They are idealists, but not without a sense of realism. They can be very patient, especially when it comes to working towards a faraway goal. From an early age, Sun number 6 personalities are fascinated and drawn to organized belief systems. As a result, they have adopted parts and pieces of dogmas and concepts that potentially restrict their vision. Another important aspect that they coach in themselves is being goal-orientated and being very calculating in planning their future. This makes them very safe and secure in a way, as far as their plans for the future are concerned. They are doers in life who usually do not take no for an answer. This is also because they are known to be great learners. Successful Sun number 6s must learn to occasionally step out of their environment and escape the safety net of a potentially narrow view of life. When it comes to romance, the 6 Sun number takes love as seriously as it takes everything else. The most loving and harmonious of all numbers, the 6 gives itself fully and without restraint. They put everything they have into it and are also very dedicated to their virtues. The fact that they aid even unknown people in need makes it all the more clear that they would be quite serious and devoted in their relationships. Your gift for harmony makes other people happy and creates some wonderfully balanced relationships. However, your frequency and manifestation potential aren't as high as they could be, and this is because you tend to put the needs of others before your own. Your big personal development project should be monitoring your energy reserves more accurately and blocking offset periods of time for self-care. Those with the Sun number 6 are compatible with 2s, 5s, 7s and 9s, and those with the Sun number 6's personal yearly cycle for 2019 is 9. This is your year to finish up all unfinished business, to clean house and make room for new things. On a material level, this is a good time to get rid of unnecessary weight, to give away or sell what you do not need anymore, and to pay off old debts. On a spiritual and emotional level, you will experience a different mode altogether. Your attention in most of 2019 should turn to others and their needs. Find ways to be of help and give time and energy to worthwhile causes. You must lighten your burden of questions and doubts, and the best way to do so is by directing your attention to another direction, away from yourself, and you will find yourself becoming lighter and more in touch with yourself. The world of philosophy and spiritual awareness is a 7's domain. People with the Sun number 7 don't take anything at face value and tend to search for a deeper meaning in everything. Changes don't bother a 7, but the seeming apathy for change sometimes means they don't get the attention they require. A 7 may be an introvert hiding an extrovert, or vice versa. Either way, both sides exist within this person. The Sun number 7 holds spirituality in high regard. They believe in finding the real meaning of life. People who have this as their Sun number are usually the ones who are introvert in nature and seldom talk to people in order to share their views. They keep things to themselves and only talk to people who resonate with them on the same level of intellectuality. Few things bother a Sun number 7 more than being in an environment of superficial lightweights and noisy extroverts. They know there is nothing to be found there but wasted time and energy. They like to talk about the deeper meaning of life rather than following the herd and talking nonsense at parties or get-togethers, which is why they generally tend to avoid such crowds. This is one reason that makes them a recluse. However, they do hold a very few people close. Often opinionated to a fault, 7s tend to have a handful of close friends, while everyone else is a stranger. Interestingly, while they tend to control, if not hide, their emotional side, many with a Sun number 7 choose the fields of psychology and psychiatry. 7s are extremely curious and have a scholarly nature, but not a conventional one. In fact, there is very little conventional about a 7, as they are often far more eccentric. The root cause of the spiritual and the intellectual quest that they indulgicate themselves in is because of the curious mind that they nurture right from the beginning. They are very anxious and are very eager to know and learn things from their surroundings. Not just this, they are very intuitive, emotional, and sensitive. They have a natural gift to know things beyond the physical, and that is why they tend to be quite mystical. In love, The sun number 7 is often a late bloomer, interested more in the spiritual and intellectual planes and not so much the physical. So when a 7 finally does fall in love, they often don't know how to handle it and may try instead for a more platonic relationship first. Fortunately, once the ice is broken and the physical side of the romance comes to life, the 7 proves to be a great lover, extremely giving and caring and focused on one thing and one thing only, the happiness of their partner. And as with anything else the 7 tries, it will work on becoming the best, and the 7 is no different in romance. The 7 is very considerate and a truly invaluable asset, conscious of the needs and expectations of its partner. The sun number 7 tends to fall in love much less often than any of the other numbers, but when it does happen, it takes over and becomes the first and foremost priority. And who wouldn't want to play that role? But when they are not in sync with their nature, they find it hard to trust the human values apart from thinking about a huge load of responsibilities that makes them stressful at times. And as far as being romantic is concerned, they can either be great lovers or just a little satisfied with relationships as they focus more on being intellectually challenged. People who have a sun number 7 are philosophically gifted. They can easily see past surface information to the hidden meanings beneath. Unfortunately, this rich inner world can also lead to an introverted demeanor. This can make you shy or hesitant when trying to form new relationships. Try to remember that you have a lot to give in this world. Make an effort to seek out or deepen social connections. Those with the sun number 7 are compatible with 1s, 3s, 5s, 6s, 7s and 9s, and those with the sun number 7's personal yearly cycle for 2019 is the number 1. Be ready for changes. You will be inspired to start new projects or enterprises. You will feel a strong push towards new goals. 2019 is your time for vision and planning. Share your dream with others. Make plans. Get the necessary support, but above all, rely on yourself as the driving force and be decisive. You are starting a new 9-year epicycle. Everything you do now will affect your future. Do not hold back the inner force of creation. Be daring, direct and bold, and you will have confidence and determination this year, particularly in comparison with last year, which was a time of letting go. This year represents a time of birth. It's a time to take charge and to apply yourself to your dream. People with the sun number 8 have an authoritarian streak and like to be in charge at all times. Unfortunately, changes can't always be controlled, and when they feel they don't have control, they can become agitated and even angry. An 8 can be aggressive and bullish, and they have paid the price for that more than once. Although they are capable and smart and often able to see the bigger picture well before anyone else does. And it's this trait that lets 8s take chances and use their assets and resources in ways that others may consider too risky. 8s like to get on the ground floor of new ventures. Sometimes they are too quick or too optimistic, setting expectations too high, which results in disappointment, but even these failures don't sideline an 8 for too long. People who are associated with the sun number 8 usually take very big risks in all matters of life, may it be small or big in its appearance. They dwell in the moment and are impulsive with what they do without thinking much about the consequences. This may be a major reason as to why they are so courageous and bold. They generally do not abide by anyone else's rules. Instead, they make their own. That is why most people refer to the 8s as being unhinged. It's perhaps a bit of a contradiction, but 8s have trouble accepting the authority of other individuals or institutions, and this has led some with an 8 sun number to a path of crime and incarceration. Successful sun number 8s are careful not to let anger cloud their judgment, and this is mostly due to the fact that he or she simply doesn't show much of what he or she is feeling. The 8 tends to be level-headed, something that can take the wind out of a passionate romantic relationship. If, however, the partner has enough self-confidence and is secure in his or her own right, the relationship can last forever. Both the good and the bad part is that these people do not associate themselves with the events that have already occurred in the past. They give their best shot at what they do and move on to the next plan if they fail. They do not introspect too much about their failures. They are good at bending the rules for their own advantage, and they are quite practical and career-orientated in nature, which makes them perform very well on a corporate level. The people who fall under the sun number 8 cannot be considered as romantics. They are not good at expressing themselves, which makes it hard for their partners to comprehend their relationship. On the other hand, the 8 does have a strong sense of commitment and takes care of those around him or her and will fight to protect them. Having an 8 sun number on your side is a reason to feel safe and secure. When your life is influenced by sun number 8, you'll likely find it easier than most to find satisfaction without material possession. The thing that most often stands between you and your full power is your desire for control. You want to be able to influence every outcome and foresee every eventuality, and may persist in indecision if you feel you lack that control. Learning to let go and trust the universe is the best step you can take towards manifestation. Those with the sun number 8 are compatible with 2s, 4s and 9s, and those with the sun number 8's personal yearly cycle for 2019 is 2. This is a year to carefully protect and nurture your plans. You will be like a mother watching over her children, conscious of every threat, real or imagined. You will need tact and cooperation to keep yourself moving forward. There will likely be confrontation with others, requiring a subtle and gentle approach. You will have to stay focused on your goals, yet use intelligent persuasion. Being forceful may work against you. Compromises will work in your favor. People with the sun number 9 are idealists. There is a global consciousness that drives many with a sun number 9 to a career in politics, the military, or even law enforcement. They can be aloof and distant, but this is a form of self-defense because they are often not very good with emotional issues, preferring a more clinical and objective approach. This number is considered to be one of the most powerful numbers of all the numbers, and people with this sun number are very philosophical and spiritual in their essence. They show a lot of empathy towards other people and respect for who they are. Even though they are able to connect with people on an emotional level, they are rather practical in their outlook and do not let their emotions get the better of them. 9s like things to be well thought out, carefully strategized, and all possibilities considered. However, they do have no problem adjusting to changing circumstances, and this makes a 9 a very capable long-term planner or advisor. Sun number 9s are good at running an institution or a team, yet they are not naturally good at the nitty-gritty details of, say, business, finances, or taxes. They believe in unity, which is why they are more productive when they are with a group of people. They seldom follow the herd while approaching or completing any task at hand, but instead they try to pave their own path and follow it. They may sometimes feel that their ideologies are better than that of their peers, which can give them a little bit of a superiority complex. It's important to a 9 to feel as though their lives count, and it sometimes can result in a slightly arrogant, self-righteous or holier-than-thou syndrome. Successful Sun number 9s will learn to accept people for who they are, not expect them to change according to their expectations. People tend to either love a 9 or loathe a 9. There are few in between. They have a perfect combination of being intelligent and spiritual, which works in their favor. However, when they are not in their rhythm of life, they tend to face a lot of ups and downs, and they are also known to be restless. All in all, they are quite sorted in terms of how they deal with their lives, however. In love, a 9 can seem distant, not often one to display emotion. In order to get involved in a romantic relationship, it is usually the 9 who has to reach out, as others tend to be both intimidated and unsure. On the other hand, once a relationship is established, the 9 can be a joy to be around, as they are considerate, careful, and generous. People with this Sun number are extremely dedicated towards their partner, but might find it difficult to communicate properly at times. However, they are easy to deal with once they let their guards down. They don't ask for much and are easily pleased, and they are tolerant and forgiving and give a partner all the space and freedom he or she needs to live their own life. If your Sun number is 9, your idealism puts you in a fantastic position to help make the world a better place. The way to become stronger and more effective in your law of attraction work will be to fully engage with your feelings, instead of aiming for objectivity and detachment. It's only experiencing your emotions fully that you will be able to locate your deepest needs in terms of your dreams and your reality. Those with the Sun number 9 are compatible with 1s, 2s, 3s, 7s and 8s, and those with the Sun number 9's personal yearly cycle for 2019 is the number 3. This is a year of expansion and personal growth. It is a time of heightened personal expression. Creativity and artistic talent come to the forefront. You are light-hearted and drawn to all kinds of social events through most of 2019. More than most other years, you will entertain and be entertained. You will meet new and exciting people, and this is a time to appreciate all that you have.